Hi there! During this lesson, we will study the basic concepts of the Java language and learn how to output certain information to the screen using this language. First of all, let's go through the program interface. Here on the side, there is a tab called Project. In this tab, all the files present within your project are displayed. Right now, you can notice that I have a folder named CPP Explorer. That's the name of my project. And inside this folder, you can see there is a hidden folder, .idea. Inside this folder are the configuration files for IntelliJ IDEA program. Additionally, there is a folder named SRC, which stands for source. It contains all the files we are working with. At the moment, I only have one file named main, and it's open right here. We'll delve into what's written here a little later. For now, we've just opened it, and we'll return to it shortly. Also, there is a file with the extension .iml, which contains settings for our project. We won't need to work with this file, it simply describes some characteristics of the project itself. In addition to our project folder, there's also a folder named External Libraries. This folder contains certain additional libraries. Currently, all that exists in our project is the JDK, or Java Development Kit, version 22. In the future, if we create projects based on other libraries, they will appear in this folder. And the last file is Scratches and Consoles. Essentially, it's another file for configuring the program. We don't need to use it in any way. It's just necessary for the operation of our program. Overall, we'll be working only with the ASRE folder where we'll create some files and write code. At the bottom of the program, there are several other useful tabs. For example, there's a tab labeled Run, where the program's results are displayed. Currently, it's empty, but we'll encounter this tab multiple times throughout the course. Also, there's a tab labeled Problems, where errors that occur during the project build process will be shown. There's a tab for the command line, where you can enter various commands. And there's also a tab for building your entire project. If there are any errors or notifications during the project build, they will appear here. We'll become familiar with all of these in detail throughout the course because we'll often need to work with these tabs. Now, let's finally return to the file and examine the code written in it. I suggest not just looking at each line, but deleting this file and creating it anew. So, on the left menu, right-click on our main file and select Delete. Now let's create a new file. To do this, right-click again and choose New Java Class. You can name the file whatever you like, but conventionally, if it's the main class, we name it main. Choose that it will be a class and press enter. You may also notice that as soon as I created the file, it already contains a snippet of code. Let's go through what's written here. In the first line of code, it says that we are creating a class. Since Java is an object-oriented language, every file represents a class. Here, it says that a new class main is being created. Also note that the file name and the class name here should match. Additionally, you can see that before the class name, there are the words public and class. The first word is an access modifier. We'll discuss them in the relevant lesson. But for now, just remember that with this word, we indicate that we are creating a class that is completely open to other files. Next, to create a class, we need to write the keyword class and specify its name. Then, all the contents of the class are enclosed in curly braces. Now, inside the class, we can write some code. Now we need to write a function together that will execute when the project is run. Such a function is called main. To create it, we need to specify an access modifier. Here, we'll also use public. Additionally, we need to write another access modifier, such as static. I won't pay special attention to it now because we'll discuss them in detail in the next lessons. For now, just repeat after me and don't worry about understanding what it is. Also, here we write the keyword void. This word tells us that it doesn't return anything, and we'll discuss returning values from functions later when we study functions. For now, we're just writing it without diving into its meaning. Next, we write the name for the function, and I suggest naming it as such. Also, after the name, we need to specify parentheses, and inside curly braces, we specify the body of the function. That is, what will be inside the function itself. So, everything that is between curly braces will be the body of the function. Thus, we have created a new class, and within this class we've also created a main function. And everything inside the function will be executed when the project itself is launched. Also, inside the parentheses, we need to pass parameters into the function. Again, I won't explain what this is for now. We'll talk about it in detail in the function topic, so just follow along with me. And I also want to share a hack with you. Of course, it will take time to write such a line. To save you time writing this line, you can erase it and simply type PSVM and press Enter. This is a quick command that simplifies writing code. Now let's run the program and make sure there are no errors. To do this, click on the triangle at the top and we see that the program finished with code 0, meaning the program ran without errors. But additionally, nothing was printed because currently our function is completely empty and doesn't output anything to the screen. To display some information on the screen, we need to access the built-in class called System. Then through the dot operator, we access the out object. Through this object, we then call a method called print. This method allows us to output something to the screen. Next, we put double quotes inside the parentheses. This indicates that we want to place some string inside them. Let's write hello there. And at the end, we need to put a semicolon because our expression ends here. If we are creating a class or a function, we don't use a semicolon. But if it's a single line of code, a semicolon is always used. If we run the program, we'll see that the result of the program, our text string, is displayed in the console. So using system.outPrint, we can output something to the user's screen. Also, if desired, we can write as many lines of code here as we want. For example, let's write the word world in the second output. If we run the program, we'll see our message. But there's one problem. Our strings are written on a single line. This happens because the print method doesn't add any spaces. Thus, after outputting the first string, there's no line break. To fix this, we need to use another method called println. This method performs the same actions, but it adds a line break at the end. This means that when the program is run, all our words will be separated by a space from each other. Also, if desired, we can delete this line and write everything in one line. If we run this, we'll see that everything is processed correctly. In this lesson, let's also touch on a simple but very useful topic: comments. Through comments, you can describe parts of your code, and in the future, if you want to revisit your program that you wrote a long time ago, comments will help you quickly understand what your code does. To write a comment, you need to place 2 slashes anywhere in your code. This way, you open a single line comment. That is, it's a comment that can only be written on one line. Let's write any test comment, and if I run it, we'll see that our comment has no effect on the program and is simply ignored. Besides creating a single line comment, which can only be written on one line, you can also create a multi-line comment. To do this, we write a slash and an asterisk. Then we can write anything we want, and to close this comment, we should then place an asterisk followed by a slash. In this case, everything between the opening and closing tags will be considered a comment. If we run this, again, everything will be displayed correctly, and only hello world will be printed. Well, that concludes our lesson. During this lesson, we've learned how to display information on the screen and also how to create comments. If there's anything you don't understand at the moment, don't worry, because we'll be revisiting all of this many times, and we'll delve into this information in practice. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next lessons. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, goodbye.